Welcome to the CoryTellAllSports Podcast. Hey guys, we're back for another edition of the CoryTellAllSports Podcast, as you can hear. And we're going to be talking about Group 5 today. One of the best days of the World Cup. I feel like we've been saying that every day, but still.
It gets better and better, and I mean, it's our home country, USA, playing, so, I mean, it was one of the best days.
Unbelievable. So, the games today were from Group G, and also there was one matchup still from Group F to finish up. So
I hope there wasn't, to be quite honest, because Group F was
beautiful. Yeah, it was
pretty bad.
Not the best.
But we'll talk about it a little later. Starting out with Group G was Portugal-Germany, which was one of the most highly touted games coming into the tournament.
It was, two soccer powerhouses. They've combined for 14 semifinal appearances. They've only met once, actually, in the World Cup, which surprised me. And it was in a third-place game, which, doesn't really matter.
And Germany's a team who's had such great teams in the past World Cups, but it's just come up short with two semifinals appearances and a loss in the finals. I forget the World Cup, but recently. Yeah. And then Portugal, who I feel like everyone always says this is their breakout World Cup year or Euro year, but they've just struggled. They haven't gotten past that.
And in the last few, they did play in the Euros, the two teams. Germany beat Portugal 3-2 in the quarters of the 2008 Euros, and then we remember the group stage in 2012. Germany beat Portugal 1-0 from Mario Gomez.
Yeah, and that stayed true in this World Cup with Germany taking the 4-0, a very convincing win from Portugal.
I think I would say
from Germany, by the way.
Yeah, Germany won. Got the win 4-0 in the Arena Fontenova in Salvador. I think this was probably the best performance of the World Cup we've seen.
Rivals Netherlands, obviously, who had the great second half. But from Germany, it was definitely it was just great play. But it all started, Corey, up top with
it did.
They played a 4-3-3 almost with Ozil. Who played the middle?
Ozil, Mueller,
and Götze.
Yep.
But who played the middle? Just wondering.
Mueller a little bit.
Mueller played the middle, and he shined. 8 goals in 8 World Cup appearances. He's going to break the record. He's only 24.
Yes.
You don't realize how actually young he is, and I didn't even know this. He's only 24. He's got a long career ahead of him. It's just, he's a great player, and he was the main attacking force.
And I think the thing that really hurt Portugal is Germany on this World Cup squad, they don't have true strikers. They didn't take Mario Gomez. Mm-hmm. Really, their only true striker is Miroslav Klose, but he's obviously
a little older.
Yeah, he's getting older. So what they did with their 4-3-3, which I thought was genius, is that there was interchanging between their 3 guys up top.
There was no one tacker, and they all played so well together. The chemistry, you can just see the chemistry there. It looks like they're long-term teammates.
Exactly. And so what would happen is Ozil, Mueller, and Götze, all 3 of them would interchange up front. Yeah. And so it was hard for Portugal to track them. Yeah. Because usually when you have one striker up top, you can stay with that striker all game. You know where he is. You can mark him. But what happened with Germany is that one run, Ozil would go over the top. Then Mueller would go over the top. Then Götze. It was difficult for
Pepe and Bruno Alves, who had a woeful game. And it was tough for them to mark, but it wasn't their... it was tough. They don't play a lot together, and Germany just gave them fits in the back.
They did. They did so well with Lahm, Cruz, and Kadir in the middle to keep the ball, and then they were able to spring those guys forward because it was difficult to mark them, because Ozil, Götze, and Mueller would always change the runs and be popping out on the wing or in the middle. The 4-3-3 seemed to be effective today.
Yeah, the attackers obviously were the stars for the Germany, but also, like you mentioned, Lahm, Kadira were great in the middle, just holding the ball, giving the opportunities to Götze and Mueller and Ozil to score. But their defense with Mertesacker in the middle,
it looked good this game, very good this game.
But it did show signs of weakness, especially at the beginning when Ronaldo just ran by Mertesacker. If that was anyone besides Hugo Almeida, Corey, that probably would have been a goal.
It did. There were some early mistakes. Lamb had some giveaways in the beginning of the game. He wasn't at his best early. And Neuer had to make a save on a Ronaldo shot. But I think the game really changed when Götze got the penalty call. Disputed penalty in the 12th minute, and Mueller.
I don't like the call personally. I think because the refs are always on the whistles. I just think he got to be a little more lenient. It really wasn't a call.
I agree with you there. It was the first PK goal for Germany since the '94 quarters, and a great flick on that play by Ozil.
Beautiful play and to Mueller and Mueller.
Germany goes up 1-0. Then Hummels scores on a header. Germany goes up 2-0. It's first ever goal for Germany in a competitive match. Mm-hmm. And then that got Pepe mad.
Oh, Pepe.
And you don't want Pepe mad.
Pepe, the craziest soccer player in the world, just gets mad. Stupid red card. Goes for the Zidane
37th minute. Mueller probably made a little much of it. He didn't go down that hard,
Yeah.
but you can't really blame him.
But it's the action, really. It's not the fact that he hurt him. The fact is that you can't go for a headbutt.
You can't.
It's going to be a red card.
It was very foolish by Pepe. Think about it. They're already down 2-0. They need to keep it close. Maybe try and get Ronaldo on the ball.
Goal differential is huge, especially with the USA win now. Pepe's going to be out. It's CoryTellAll looked like he hurt himself too.
CoryTellAll got hurt as well later in the game, his groin. They could be without both Pepe and CoryTellAll for the game against US.
Two of their star defenders, and that's really going to be rough.
Exactly. Ricardo Costa from Valencia could play, but I mean, we saw Almeida, who came in for CoryTellAll, made a bad play on the goal, Mueller's hat-trick goal. It's some concerns for Portugal in the back, certainly.
Yeah, no, the back, but they just look like deflated after Bruno Alves with the mistake for the fourth goal. It just looked like a deflated Portuguese team. Ronaldo,
unacceptable, though, you have to say, from Pepe.
Oh, no.
Ridiculous.
Very unacceptable. You put your team in a hole. I mean, you can't do it. You're doing it for your team and for your country, and it was just a shame that you have to go out like that.
It was. I mean,
and Ronaldo he didn't look like himself.
He didn't. Mueller scored another goal to go up 3-0 for Germany. He becomes the 6th German to have multiple games with at least 2 goals, joining a list that includes Klose and Gerd Mueller. And, I mean, it was pretty much one-way traffic after Pepe went out. What did you see from Ronaldo out there? He didn't look his best.
He didn't look his best. He just didn't look his best. He couldn't. Well, in fairness, he couldn't get the ball that much.
True.
But when it was before they scored the first goal, obviously on the PK, he did show signs of getting forward with the run by Mertesacker and the lefty shot. But the whole Portuguese side was deflated. He couldn't really get anything going up top. They barely had the ball, Corey. It was tough.
And then Mueller, of course, finishes off with his hat trick. Germany goes up 4-0. 6th German player with a hat trick in a World Cup game, including Max Merlock, who scored 3 against Turkey in 1954. You have to say, Germany, very impressive performance. Worst ever defeat for Portugal. Where do they go from here? Pepe's out. CoryTellAll's hurt. Almeida got hurt.
I mean, they're just gonna have to. They're gonna have to get some goals because they're gonna concede in the back. I mean, their D is just not looking as good as I thought it was gonna be. Almeida is shaky back there, along with Bruno Alves. Ronaldo's gonna have to turn it up and play like he does for Real Madrid, the star that he is.
So Germany gets off to a good start, looking for their first World Cup since 1990, when they had Jürgen Klinsmann leading the way. Overall, from Germany, I would say A+ performance. Really can.
And a lot of doubts coming into the World Cup with all the injuries in the camp. They just look injury stricken. Lahm was hurt for a little. Schweinsteiger.
What do you think about the decision to play Lahm in the center of midfield instead of in the back? They played Boateng at right back.
I like it. Boateng's a good defender. He's fast enough where he can shift to the right, and then you put Mertesacker in the middle. And Lahm has played there mostly all year for Bayern. So I think it's a smart move. Lahm, I mean, he's a great player. He can play anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say
got over his early mistakes.
He played right back in the early in his career, then moved to left back, center midfield. He's going to become an attacker, Corey.
So, I mean, it's going to be hard to crack that Germany attack, though. They look very strong.
Too strong.
Even when Schürrle came on. So, a 4-0 win for Germany. Great performance. Yeah. And from the opposite end of Germany came Nigeria-Iran.
Which was the poorest game of the World Cup. I mean, it's been the highest scoring World Cup. We've all seen the records shown in by, thank you, ESPN Stats and Info. Yes. I mean, it's been a high scoring World Cup, and that's why it's really been entertaining for the most part. But Nigeria-Iran, a 0-0 draw, no real opportunities. You had one on the corner from, I don't even know his name, Ganoka.
Yeah, very long name from Iran. I have no idea how to say it. But a good save by Vincent, the Nigeria keeper. Yeah. And that really was the best chance of the game.
Nigeria controlled the game, but Iran, I'm pretty sure, only led 2 goals in all of qualifying. They were very good in the back, I'll give them it. But it was more Moses and Emenike. Emenike's their best striker. They just couldn't. There's no creativity up top. They looked shocked once they got into the final third.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you there. They had very little creativity from Musa and Moses, and it was mainly just Mikel playing in the midfield and really just going from the back to the center. They were outpassing Iran 484 to 205, but the build-up was slow, and there was no creativity.
Yeah, there was just nothing up top. I mean, you know a game's boring when all the cameraman can do can just shine on this one Iranian guy. They literally put the camera on Reza and Day Jagger the whole time. It's because they didn't know anyone. It was just poor.
I mean, but you do have to compliment Iran for as bad as Nigeria was creativity. Iran very organized in the back. Their 2 lines, midfield and defense. That was really well done from them. They let Nigeria get the ball, and they didn't do anything.
I mean, they play into their style. Iran's happy with the draw. Nigeria, though, and that group, I believe, is in the Bosnia.
They need to beat Bosnia
and Herzegovina, Argentina. Yeah, it's really going to going to come down to that game. But I would like to see if Iran can maybe pull a tie with Bosnia or Argentina. Very good in the back.
Bosnia is a little more creative. But the thing about Iran is, as you said, they allowed just 2 goals in 8 matches in the final qualifying for Asia. 6 clean sheets. And, I mean, in their recent friendlies, they have Belarus, Montenegro, and Trinidad and Tobago scoreless. So we've seen it from Iran. And, I mean, maybe if the Jagger can get on the ball, he's got a rocket left foot.
Plays for Fulham now, actually.
He does.
Relegated, but still, they do have a little creativity up top. Let's see if they can get a counterattack and maybe score a goal that way.
Yeah, I mean,
that's really going to how their goals are going to come from.
Nigeria, 70% of the ball, you have to say. Very lackluster performance from them. You just think they have to counter quicker, don't you? Because they were a little slow.
Yeah, they were a little slow getting up top. I mean, but when you're playing that low, there's no connection between the midfield and the forwards. It was just rough.
Yeah, and so in this golden generation for Nigeria, after they won the African Cup of Nations for the first time since 1994 and 2013, and so many talented players, you have to wonder about them going forward. Odom Wiggy didn't come on till a little late. I thought that was surprising. He's creative enough to kind of unlock a defense, and we didn't really see it from anybody else from Nigeria going forward.
Yeah, it was just a good game. A pretty bad game.
Yeah, pretty bad game.
But
a good performance by Iran.
Yeah, good performance by Iran. Mm-hmm.
This is Iran's 4th World Cup. Only 1 World Cup victory, but this is practically a victory for them.
Yeah, if you look at it from the Iran side.
Yeah, and so they actually had a very good chance on that corner kick, as you said.
Let's get off that game, Corey. Let's face it. Let's get to the prime.
The real game. US, Ghana. Unbelievable.
I feel terrible because I was rooting for Ghana.
Oh wait, let me say one thing before we even get back to Rory's ridiculousness. Yesterday on our podcast, what did I say? I said there will be a goal. It will be 2-1 United States, and there will be a goal from a header from Matt Beasler. Now, was I wrong? Yes, I was wrong.
It was the sub.
It was the substitute for Matt Beasler on a header late in the game. I called it. John Brooks in his 5th cap, first ever goal for the U.S. Unbelievable.
He can't even speak English, Corey.
We know.
He played terrible versus Ukraine.
We know. And he sliced an early clearance, and then John Brooks in the 86th minute scores the goal for the United States, gives them the 3 points they so desperately needed. The U.S., this was the 4th time in World Cup history teams played 3 straight times. The U.S. has never lost to the same opponent on 3 straight occasions, and they did in here.
Yeah, well, U.S. got outplayed, Corey.
They did?
They did.
They did?
Wait, okay, well, here. Let's go through the game. U.S. Clint Dempsey right from the start. It was just beautiful. I mean, Ghana just had an early turnover. Nothing really, concerning. And then Dempsey's
great first touch.
Yeah, great first touch. He made a little scissor move with his left to get onto his right. Not a lot of people noticed that.
Exactly.
But that's what enabled him to get on his right. Otherwise, he would have had to hit in the outside, and you can't let him get in. You can't let him cut in. Stupid move by the center back from Nigeria. And he makes him pay, hits off the post, bangs in. Great goal from Dempsey. At that point, I was like, what the hell just happened?
That was a shocking 29 seconds into the game. 5th fastest goal in World Cup history and fastest since 2002. And Dempsey's the first American to score in 3 different World Cups.
They look great. Josie got hurt.
Looked good early.
Josie runs for a ball. I mean, it was like their first attack after that. Ghana had the ball for a little.
It was after Michael Bradley sprayed forward.
Another great pass. I forget from who, but
Bradley.
Was it Bradley? That was Bradley's
only good pass in the game. He had a very bad game.
We'll talk about that a little later. And then Josie's running to the ball and grabs his hamstring, a strained hamstring. That's a rough loss from the U.S. They had to put.
What do you think about Josie's gotten so much criticism for only scoring 2 goals with Sunderland in 38 games. He didn't score for the U.S. until that final friendly against Nigeria.
And he looked well, though. Even besides the goal, he looked back.
But I'm saying, for as much criticism as he gets, people don't realize how important he is for the United States in terms of hold-up play.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Johansson, who was put in, and Josie, you could see the difference. Johansson couldn't hold the ball up. That's not his type of play.
He's not a big body.
Josie's a big body. I mean, he's almost like a Giroud. He can hold the ball up, let play happen.
Not as good, obviously.
Yeah, obviously not as good, but he can hold the ball up and he can let play happen, and then he can let Bradley and Clint Dempsey do their things. I mean, he's a big part of the game. You don't notice till you take him out.
Exactly. He's gotten so much heat for not scoring goals, and I know a striker's job is to score goals, and
that's why he
has to score goals. But he's such a physical body, and he's able to create space with his big presence that once he left the game, the U.S. had real trouble keeping the ball, and that's when Ghana just kept on coming back at the United States because we couldn't retain possession. So if Altidor's not there for the game against Portugal, especially without Pepe in the lineup, are we going to have trouble exploiting them?
I mean, I think so. There's Clint Dempsey, obviously. I mean, the broken nose that he got was gruesome.
Yeah.
It hurts, obviously, breathing-wise, because, I mean, you breathe with your freaking nose. So he wasn't himself after that. But I think the key focal point in how the team run is through Michael Bradley. Bradley had a shocker.
So you think he's going to have to play much better in sports?
Bradley is going to have to play. I mean, he's a great player. He's one of USA. He's my favorite player on USA.
Worst game I've seen him play for the
Yeah, and it runs through his team. He's a center midfielder. He gets the ball out to Dempsey and Bedoya, and he lets them work. But when you're playing a game like that, you can't lose the ball that much. I mean, Ghana was thriving off his mistakes. I mean, and it wasn't like he was being over pressured. It was just him making silly mistakes, bad passes. Bradley has got to play better.
So after Josie went out, it was just Ghana, constant pressure.
Let's talk about Ghana for a little, because
they did.
Ghana did outplay. USA won and fair, but Ghana did outplay them.
They outplayed them in terms of possession, but I think they lacked a little bit of creativity. It was kind of like Nigeria.
We see it from a lot of the African sides: Cameroon, Nigeria, even Ivory Coast for the most part. Besides I mean, they only scored 2 minutes away from each other in the end of the game from 2 crosses. The African team struggled with creativity up in the top, and it showed with Ghana. They just had nothing going.
I mean, they did have 21 total shots. Outpassed US 456
but a lot of the shots,
to 276.
Yeah, a lot of shots were from the 30, deep shots.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of their possession was...
And hey, Corey, Tim Howard made 1 big save. They needed 2.
He did.
He needed 2. Thank you, Twelman.
Rory does not like Taylor Twelman. But obviously, Ghana had a lot of chances. Half chances, I would say. A lot of half chances. But nothing really definitive. They had the Guillen header from Montari. Montari had another shot that went wide.
Jermaine Jones played so well. I mean, he really was the defensive player for the USA, the defensive center midfielder, and he played well, running throughout the whole field. But I didn't see anything. I just didn't see anything from the USA that shows, wow, this team can really compete with top teams.
I think I would agree that they were very organized in the back.
They were.
And I think their defense played commendable. Beasley didn't have his best game. But, I mean, I think you can expect that. That's probably the U.S.'s biggest weakness.
If he gets up, he's not getting back.
Yeah, he's so old. But, I mean, finally, Ghana was able to break through 82nd minute. A really nice goal from them.
Asamoah Gyan with a great back heel. Just amazing.
To Andre Ayew from Marseille for the goal.
And that, I mean, the Ghanaians were pumped.
Yeah.
The guy with the white face paint and the huge hair was going crazy.
First goal for Ayew since he scored the winner in extra time in the quarters.
Corey,
African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, no, it was just an awesome goal. Finally able to break in.
That back heel caught the U.S. off guard because they weren't expecting it.
Fabian Johnson was exposed on the side. But
he lost his mark on that play.
Mm-hmm. But Howard, I didn't get why he wasn't protecting his near post. He took a chance going outside. I mean, I
don't buy the Howard criticism.
I know you.
I don't think he could have said Ayew shot that with the outside of his foot. I'm surprised.
I know, but you got to protect your near post, Corey. You got to protect your near post.
Howard lets up a lot of near post goals. But I don't think he could have said
he couldn't. But I think you just got to get the near post, just a little thing.
And then the classic U.S. moment late in the game.
They only win dramatic. They can't just put a team away, only win dramatic.
U.S. men and women, always dramatic. 86th minute, John Brooks comes in for the injured Matt Beasler's halftime, goes up for the header.
And Zusi.
First ever substitute goal for the United States.
The coaches are looking like geniuses. Every sub is scoring goals. Switzerland, USA.
Latest goal for the U.S. is in a win aside from Donovan's goal against Algeria. Mm-hmm. John Brooks goes up for the header, peels back off his defender, John Boy, who let Dempsey get by him.
Well, is that a strong point for USA, would you say? They got to get free kicks at pieces like that?
They have a big team.
I mean, Brooks, I know you watch the USA a lot. So.
Yeah, Brooks, Cameron's a big guy. I think that they have some big presence. Beckerman can get forward once in a while in the headers. And so that changed the game. U.S. gets the 3 points. Mm-hmm. Overall, what do you see from Ghana?
Well, I think the big pictures for them is that they had the better jerseys. I mean, Corey, their jerseys were sick.
They did have very nice jerseys.
Back to soccer. I think they just need a little creativity up top. I think
it was a lot of just Atsu getting the ball and passing it to Montari. Asamoah, when he got forward, he was very threatening.
Asamoah with the left. That's the only thing I didn't get.
Kevin Asamoah.
Kevin Asamoah, sorry. Kevin Asamoah, when he hits forward, I didn't get why they weren't shielding him to his right. They let him have his left foot. He only uses his left foot.
Very
he kept on going back on it. He's very fast, but I just don't get why they weren't forcing him to use his right. It was just a little concerning of the Fabian.
I think Ghana got better in the second half when they started to go at the United States a little more. In the first half, it was very just floating in.
And a lot of that was when Prince Boateng came in. He was the connecting force between the mid. He started moving.
He can play in the middle a little more. What do you think about them not starting Boateng? I don't like the decision.
I don't like this decision. Who did he actually come in for?
He came in for one of their holding midfielders.
Yeah, then I like it. I didn't like the sub.
Oh, he came in for Jordan Ayew. Yeah.
Oh, I like the sub. I didn't like the sub for Atsu. I think Atsu with Boateng is a really commanding presence. I think those two can connect.
Atsu was speedy, but I mean, he was getting a little tired. His crosses were pretty bad.
That is true. Yeah, no, their crosses were actually awful, but they don't have that much height up there.
They did. They controlled much of the possession, but it wasn't great possession.
But Boateng was the one player that really got forward and connected, and that's when they started pushing up, and they finally got the goal.
They have to start him for the next game.
Yeah, you got to start him.
The one thing I will commend the U.S. though in the game, their fighting spirit.
Oh, always. The U.S. I can't say that. I can't.
As much as you dislike them for just sitting back behind the ball and Ghana controlling and
terrible
not really having
soccer.
The ball.
No, that's so
them.
true. They always fight to the last minute, and I mean it's just so annoying that they had to take my Ghanaians out in the 90th minute goal. I did shed a tear, by the way.
But you do have to say Michael Bradley didn't play well. Josie and Beasler got hurt. Fabian Johnson wasn't able to get forward, and they still got the victory.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great... I mean, you take the 3 points at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. I think you'd rather play your worst football and take the 3 points than play your best and lose. Let's face it.
It would. And I think next game, hopefully, Fabian Johnson, who I think could be the best U.S. player going forward, 1v1, can get up because he was on Asamoah's side and Andre Awu's side as well. It was difficult for him to get forward, and the U.S. needs him to push up. And
it's tough to get forward when you're trapped in your own 18 the whole game, Corey. So, but I think if USA is going to play well against Portugal, because I still think Portugal's a better team than USA. They both play terrible. We'll see. But they need control in the middle. You're not going to win the game unless you
do. A little better from Michael Bradley. A lot better from Michael Bradley to keep the ball. Hopefully Zuzi also plays. I think he's a little better than Bedoya going forward. I think he played this game because he's good defensively. He's quick.
In defense, Bedoya was hurt. I mean, the U.S. trainer is terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone with their hamstrings.
So now the U.S. Plays Portugal in their next game in Manaus. Pepe's not going to be there.
A tough place to play.
It is.
Very humid.
I think that could suit the U.S., though.
Very fit, athletic team, the U.S.
Or so we thought, and then they got so many injuries. Maybe overtraining a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the wrap on this day. Germany wins 4-0. Nigeria ties Iran 0-0. And USA somehow pulls it out 2-1. And one last thing, Roy. What do you think about the revenge aspect? Do you think that was there at all? The U.S. really wanting to beat Ghana? No?
No, I think it's just it's the World Cup. It's time to play. They just want the W.
I agree with you. I mean, although Ghana
it's not like Mexico where then you would have that revenge aspect. It's Ghana. They don't really play that much. I mean, obviously they play in the World Cups, but it's not the real revenge.
I mean, Ghana knocked them out in the 06 group stage and then 2010 obviously on Guillen's goal.
Yeah.
But I think it was more so just the classic U.S. fighting spirit. Never count us out. Never count out my predictions either.
Okay.
So we'll picks on the next day 6. Okay, we begin.
They're actually happening soon, by the way. Sorry, we had a lot of work to do. Basically nothing. We were playing video games.
Yeah, we were watching games. So and I watched 24.
Yeah.
So Belgium, Algeria. What do you like?
Belgium 3-0. I just don't see. I don't know anyone from Algeria, to be quite honest. I just don't see anything.
I like Belgium to beat Algeria 2-0. Then Brazil, Mexico, Group A.
Oh, we're already back to Group A. I didn't even know they were playing today. Oh, wow.
In Fortaleza.
Ooh.
Hulk. We'll see about Hulk's injury status, Rory.
Brazil 1-0.
Okay. I like Brazil 2-0.
Expect Brazil to play very well today, though. If they play like they did versus Croatia, they're gonna get beat because Mexico is playing amazing right now.
And then Russia, South Korea. South Korea
1-0.
Right, what?
I'm picking South Korea. I know they're the underdogs, but I like South Korea.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Oh, wow. They lost to Iran
South Korea
twice.
2002. Maybe got some calls.
They did.
When
they made the semis. I like Russia 1-0. All right, guys. It's been real. Keep on watching the World Cup. Hopefully it keeps on getting better.
And by the way, comment in the description if you watch this video, if you like our intro. We'll try to change it up, trying to make the podcast a little better
We want some music. Got some music, Roy.
Sorry, Corey. We'll try.
Go, USA.
Peace.
Peace.